Next up is the accidental rocket that could ruin your next barbecue.
So you're looking excited. What's up?
It's our myth. It's a good one, which kind of reminds me of my childhood.
Okay, hit me.
All right, imagine a garage or a shed is on fire. Inside is a barbecue with a propane tank. It explodes and turns into a rocket, launching 150 feet into the air.
Oh, I've heard of this one. It's very similar to the water heater rocket. The heat causes the pressure inside the tank to build, then there's a catastrophic rupture and sends the tank flying up into the sky.
Wait. This reminds you of your childhood?
Yeah, I'd rather not talk about it. My parents are still a little upset.
Like they said, this isn't the first time we've adapted a pressure vessel. Or deliberately set one on fire. Or even tried to turn a gas tank into a missile. But if this myth is true, catastrophe could be brewing in your own backyard. The story goes that a propane tank once became a rocket. At its perfect trajectory, hit 150 feet.
Look, I gotta say, I got my doubts about this.
How so?
Propane tanks, just like all of the pressurized vessels, have a pressure relief valve built in. When the pressure gets too high, they simply vent off the excess, thereby averting a catastrophic failure.
Yeah, but what if the fire is so intense that the pressure is building faster inside the tank than the relief valve can dump out?
Well, I suppose it's possible.
Fun day at the bomb range.
Now, for this myth, we need a burning garage with a propane tank inside of it. Now, since no one's gonna let us burn down a garage, we need to build our own, but we don't have time to build a full-size one, so we're gonna make a miniature one. But we're still gonna build it up to code. It's gonna have studs every 16 inches, it's gonna have 3 walls, a driveway, and a roof. Now that should be plenty of material to burn in order to get this garage hot enough to turn this propane tank into a rocket.
So you're probably wondering, how can a propane tank turn into a rocket? Let me paint the picture. You heat up the tank, the pressure inside builds to a high amount. Enough that the tank ruptures somewhere, hopefully in a small pinhole that forms a nozzle. The gas comes shooting out, it catches fire, and all of that causes thrust that launches the tank up into the air like a rocket.
They're hoping this neat little outhouse will eventually burn at a temperature of over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. It's almost too pretty to put to the torch, but beauty fades fast around here.
It's Tory's Playhouse!
And a magic word for the day is explosions.
Here on the show, we like to say that every day's a good day for an explosion, but some days are definitely better than others.
I thought the dangerous part was gonna be the exploding propane tanks.
You all right?
Oh no.
It's hardly a firm foundation, but the guys know that today, the joys of shed ownership will be fleeting. As a rocket launch site, this will soon be a smoking pile of ashes. Shame, really.
Kari, I really love these colors. They're very hot for fall, you know.
It's one of the hardest things on MythBusters, and one of the coolest things on MythBusters is you spend so much time on a beautiful build, and then you just obliterate it in seconds. Woo!
They're now ready to install the stunt barbecue and the star of the show.
Hey, don't forget the propane. Came straight from my garage.
But there's still some fuel to add to the fire.
So this kind of looks like a lot of firewood, right? Well, it is. Because what we want is for this fire to burn long and hot.
So they stack the shed with wood and charcoal, 2 common commodities that should catch fire and raise the temperature.
Now, this fire is gonna get so hot that there is a good chance that this tank is gonna explode.
But we want a rocket. And if the relief valve does its job, this could turn out to be nothing more than a backyard bonfire. Then again, one of the great things about MythBusters is that we're so often wrong.
Now, all we have to do is set it on fire. Is this thing gonna burn? Oh yeah, it is. Is it gonna explode? It might. Is it gonna turn into a rocket? I hope so.
After a liberal splash of gasoline,
That ought to do it.
the team shows its flair for setting a fire.
All right, you guys ready?
Ready?
Let's torch this thing in 3, 2, 1.
Each passing second feels like 10 as they hightail it back to the bunker.
Oh, that thing is going up.
Oh my God.
By the time they arrive, the shed's an inferno.
Okay, the floor cam says 302 degrees.
Look at that, it's just all white.
Then, with the temperature passing 800 degrees, the safety valve finally kicks in, doing exactly what it's supposed to do.
There it goes. The relief valve just broke. Look at that, it's like a flamethrower.
So there she blows. And the cylinder didn't move an inch. The valve released the gas pressure faster than the tank could build it up.
The important thing is that the tank did not rupture. There was no explosion, and we saw a jet of fire, but no thrust, which would make a rocket.
So the shed bites the dust, but there's room for improvement.
So this myth is not confirmed under normal circumstances. It looks like we're gonna have to disable the pressure relief valve to get any sort of result.
Maybe we need to go back to the shop, change the circumstances to get one of these tanks to act more like a rocket.
All right.
Tory, Grant, and Kari are testing the myth that a superheated propane tank could rupture and take off like a rocket, 150 feet in the air. So far, all they've done is burn down a shed. Now it's time to disable that pesky safety relief valve from an empty tank.
So these propane tanks have a lot of safety features built in, and they don't want you to be able to go in and defeat them. So us professional yahoos have to grind our own tools because this is a non-standard bolt. So I'm gonna take this perfectly good wrench and make it into a custom removal tool.
And that's as much as we're going to show or explain, because trying this yourself is a really bad idea. Suffice it to say that before long, Grant's removed the device and plugged the hole to simulate an old tank with a busted valve.
Gotta say, with this safety valve disabled, I see big boom in our future.
Back on the range, Tory reveals the other major modification in Plan B. Instead of burning a shed, they'll heat their blocked up tank with a portable propane gas range.
So we're setting up a burner, attaching a 20-foot hard line to that. Then to that, we're gonna attach a 200-foot line down the bomb range to our feed tank.
Now, just so we're all crystal clear, this feed tank pumps propane direct to the burner, so the flames stay lit. It's in no way hooked up to our canister rocket, but you can't be too careful.
Okay, that's it.
That's good. Now at the feed tank, we're gonna have a flashback arrestor. So if any chance of a flame coming down the line gets to our feed tank doesn't explode.
In short, they'd prefer it if this tank managed to stay in one piece, while the other one heads for the heavens.
A pressure release valve, which we've dismantled from this particular tank, is there to prevent a key disaster. It's called a BLEVE. Now that's an acronym for Boiling Liquid Expanding Vapor Explosion. A vessel that has a pressurized liquid inside, when it ruptures, can have a catastrophic explosion.
They should get their BLEVE, but Grant doubts he'll witness the launch of a missile.
The problem is we don't know where it's gonna rupture. I think it's just gonna rupture probably on this seam and go wham! I still don't think it's gonna be a rocket.
To find out if he's right, Tory lights up the stovetop,
Here we go.
while Grant pumps the gas.
This could be big.
It could be really big.
It's gonna be a huge fireball.
Or a really awesome rocket.
Yeah, look at the bottom is blackening.
And you can see the blurry heat fog right above it.
10 minutes in, this modified tank looks like it's ready to burst.
Is the tank, does it look like it's getting rounder?
It does.
Yeah, it does, right? Well, it wasn't necessarily a rocket because pieces went that way, that way, that
They
way, that
shot
way,
right
that way, that
past
way,
it.
that way, that way.
In fact, they went every which way but vertical.
There's a piece right there.
That was, no way!
Glad you're in the bunker, huh?
Wow.
Holy crap.
The actual blast was so strong, it blew out the flame from the burner. Some of the shards flew 300 feet sideways, but stray bits of metal do not make a rocket.
So this is what's left of our tank, and it's pretty much what I expected to happen. They rupture. However, they rupture in random spots.
We definitely achieved a Blevy. Our tank ruptured and lost all of its energy all at once, rather than any sort of nozzle-like activity.
What we want is a tiny hole punched through the base to release all the force of the pressurized gas. And if a tank was part rusted in just the right spot, there's a good chance we'd get our rocket.
Oh, I think we could definitely do that. Let's go try it.
All right.
So we're back at the shop. Now, before we start weakening these tanks as if they were rusty or old tanks, I need to find out exactly what I'm up against. So what I'm gonna do is cut one of these in half just to find out how thick the wall is, because we wanna cut halfway through the thickness of the wall, not all the way through and puncturing it.
Ever so carefully, Tory splits the empty tank in two, then pulls out the calipers.
Knowing that the base of this tank is 0.083 inches thick, this is where we want to weaken the tank so that this fails before the rest of the tank ruptures and hopefully creates a nozzle through which we get thrust.
So Grant sets the drill to just half that depth, boring a divot to approximate a neglected tank that's part rusted through.
Now it's time to make a rocket.
All right. Yes,
Out on the bomb range, well, at least it's not raining.
Oh, dear.
If this was NASA, they'd call off the launch. But perseverance pays off as the fog soon lifts, and hopes are high for a genuine liftoff.
This should be fun.
For this myth to be confirmed, we're actually going to have to propel that tank 150 feet in the air. That's a 5-gallon tank. That is going to take so much thrust. That's a lot of thrust.
Once again, they'll heat the tank with a propane burner, and the pressure relief valve is blocked off.
Is it good yet?
This will be the ultimate test of a compromised container. Now we're ready to see if a 5-gallon barbecue gas tank can really take flight.
Okay, ready to start.
All right, turn it on. Good. Let's see if we get a rocket.
I think it's going to work this time. I'm feeling really good about this experiment.
Yeah, I feel confident that weakening right on the bottom, it's in the perfect place to form a rocket nozzle.
Whatever happens, it's gonna be spectacular.
But it's clear that they'll have to be patient. After almost 4 minutes, the tank isn't bulging like the last time. Then,
Oh!
I don't think that was a rocket.
That was absolutely not a rocket. It just blew up.
once again, the blast extinguished the burner. It's a splatter spectacular. But the myth remains vertically challenged.
We got a rupture that started from the bottom. It peeled apart the tank, threw it in many different directions, but nothing looked like a rocket.
Hey, Grant, look! I found a piece of the tank.
All the way up there?
Isn't that nuts?
It's another disastrous failure to launch. But the bit that burst first went exactly to plan.
And did you notice where it ruptured? I mean, exactly where we weakened the tank.
Still not a rocket. But you know what, before we give up on the scenario, we used a full tank here. What if the tank in the garage was almost empty?
Another explosion? Okay, I'm in.
game.
All right.
Grant's theory that less is more might well be the key to unleashing the power of propane. And who can say no to another explosion? So far, Kari, Grant, and Tory have totally failed to confirm the myth that a barbecue propane tank could fly like a rocket. They've blocked off the relief valve,
Pieces went that way,
then drilled out the bottom to simulate a rusty tank.
I don't think that was a rocket.
But Grant thinks the key to success is to stop way short of filling the tank.
Now, a nearly empty propane tank might be the key to creating a rocket. Let me illustrate with this water bottle. Now, the water in here represents the liquid propane. It's incompressible. There's no room for the gas to expand and build up pressure. But if we remove most of that liquid, now we have all of this volume for the gas to expand and build up pressure. And that might be what turns this into a rocket.
I'm having a hard time believing that this is gonna happen after the last few tests. But since we are changing the circumstances just slightly, putting less propane in, we might have a different conclusion.
This time, Kari does the cooking and the running. No one knows just what's going to happen or when.
It's starting to look like it's swelling a little bit.
Well, it's turned almost completely black. That's when it exploded last time.
Propane rocket, here we go.
And sooner than Tory expected,
Wait. That was not 150 feet in the air, and it didn't go straight up. It kind of went bing.
All right, but you have to admit, that is the best thing we've seen so far.
in fact, it's the first tank they've seen that shot up like a missile and stayed intact.
We're all incredibly excited right now. I mean, we actually created something that looked like a rocket.
A 60-foot launch is not the 150 they wanted, but it's promising and totally spectacular. You'd be a brave man to call this one busted.
It's totally plausible. I mean, it didn't make it to 150 feet, but it did look like a rocket.
Yeah, this is like a lot of our myths. I mean, we have a bizarre set of circumstances that gives us a totally wild outcome, but we didn't get that 150 feet. I mean, what can we do to make that go 150 feet?
Laughter like that can only mean one thing. They will do whatever it takes to match the myth. The last launch of the propane gas tank looked close to perfection. They just couldn't manage the mythical 150 feet. So here's the plan. To replicate the results of the myth, Tory builds a 10-foot rocket launcher. He's also come up with a surefire way to punch out the perfect nozzle.
I got a 9mm pistol. It's in a ransom rest and it's pointed at the base of our tank. Now, that ransom rest is connected to a window motor. All I need to do is run that motor. It'll pull the ransom rest lever and fire the gun.
That's a whole new way to shoot a rocket. Back at the range for the very last time, Tory's rig is deployed in a matter of minutes. But the force of the bullet remains a concern.
If we shoot all the way through, making 2 holes, all of that pressure is going to vent out of the second hole. So we selected a small enough caliber handgun to shoot in, but it doesn't come out.
Let's hope they've guessed right.
Now, we've taken everything we've learned from our previous tests and applied it to this last one in order to replicate the results of the myth. I mean, we got one tank to go to 60 feet, but we want our next one to go to 150 feet.
Dude, this is the best pressure tank heating, propane rocket guiding, automatic gun firing rig that we've ever built.
All right, we're ready to load the gun. Do you want to light the flare?
The flares are set to light the flame once Grant turns on the gas. And the gun, safely mounted below the burners, will eventually be fired remotely by Tory.
That's my favorite part, replicating the results.
All right, the gun's loaded. The gun's loaded. We're on our way.
We have the best jobs ever!
Yeah!
As the flames start licking the steel, they figure they've got around about an 8-minute wait.
So we know approximately when we need to set this off, but for some reason, if you see it start to swell, fire, because we know it's going to go any second.
Yeah, right.
By now, they all know the drill, but still, the wait seems endless.
God, whenever we have to wait for something to explode, it seems like time goes really, really slow.
I know, right?
And hopefully that bullet's only gonna go through the bottom and give us a nozzle.
So the watch continues for those telltale signs of imminent tank failure.
You know what?
I think it's round, dude.
All right.
If they wait any longer, the tank might explode. So it's now or never. Firing the gun should breach the bottom and give them their rocket.
In 3, 2, 1.
Brilliant launch, and the suspense leading up to it was just a nail biter.
With a perfect 9mm nozzle and a launch tower, this really was a proper propane rocket. And if the tank had fins to keep its trajectory straight and true, well, who knows?
When you take it back to the original myth, yes, we did not get the 150 feet, but we got something that really looked like a rocket. I think it's still plausible.
I agree, plausible.
Plausible.
Under the perfect storm of conditions, I think you could get a rocket.